now. Sorry I won't be able to join you on Monday. I'll be traveling home from a trip with my family, but I wanted to share what I've been working on for the last couple days for the sort of quality of life hack week. Um, so the thing I've been working on is trying to improve some of our dashboard filter syntax, specifically in the URL. Uh, and so I've got this dashboard here on Playground. That's the basically the current existing implementation, and I'm going to show you how it works first. So you're all probably familiar with this, but basically, whatever values I pick here end up getting persisted in the URL. The nice quality of this is you can grab this URL and you can share it with anyone. Um, and you can see that as I add more and more filters, these things get pretty large and long. Um, and additionally, they're kind of opaque. Like clearly, there's some kind of structure up here, and it's not super clear exactly uh, if you wanted to like hack this, like how you would go about hacking it and keeping it valid. And as these things get longer, they've created a number of issues for us, and we've kind of been dealing with those issues piecemeal. We've kind of stretched the runway out on this particular implementation of serializing these large objects into the URL. Uh, Most notably, Eli recently greatly reduced the size of those objects for most cases, but you can still occasionally fall into these scenarios where um, the entire state of a filter gets serialized into the URL, making them really, really long. Um, yeah, so here are just a couple bugs that have fallen out of that. The result of like filter values getting really, really long. So what are our alternatives? Well, basically, we could come up with our own more expressive syntax for filters. And it turns out if you're familiar at all with the filter syntax in the model, that already exists. So for example, um, if you want to declare a filter on user state directly in the model, you just get to use syntax like this, very straightforward, very human readable. And so some months ago, Stephen and I were talking about using this as the sort of vanity filter syntax in the URL. And so that's what I've spent the last couple of days working on. Demo of my implementation using the filter syntax from the model. So you can see got this simple dashboard with two filters, one on user gender, one on user state. Now, keep in mind, this is not bug free, it's not production ready. Still have to iron out some of the kinks with some of the more complicated filters like date filters, but I am getting pretty close. So to give you a quick demo, let's say I choose filter value female. You can see up here in the URL now, I have this really nice trivial syntax, super easy to understand, very expressive. I can update it to a different filter value. It works exactly as we'd expect. And I can even change the filter type. And this should work exactly as we expect it to. And you can see filter type is switched to contains. And to make this demo even uh, sort of clear, I can directly add in um, my own filter value for this other filter. So let's look for a state that contains Fornia. So we'd expect to come back with California, and here it is. Um, yeah, so this is really super nice. We should expect it to support pretty much everything filters currently support. So here you can see my contains for this state got URL encoded, which is why these percents showed up. Um, but the user's gender now just shows is female, comma male. Like in theory, we could also add uh, another value, and that gets propagated here. So yeah, just super simple to work on and work with. And just to emphasize why I think this is really valuable, uh, in the embed world, we currently allow folks to parameterize their embed URLs with filters, and we require them to use the pretty large, complicated JSON structure that filters currently have. And so this would be a pretty big quality of life improvement for embed users who are parameterizing by filters. And perhaps even more importantly, in we use filter values kind of all over the place. And like a good example is like the links property in the model where, if you get a value, like if you use this field in your query and you get a value in a table and you click on that cell, we're going to open a menu with this link. And right now, if you want to parameterize that link, you have to copy and paste the filter URL from this, like directly out of the browser, and then figure out exactly where to splice in your dynamic value that's coming from the click event. And so instead of doing this crazy thing, we could potentially just shorten it to something like this. Um, so yeah, again, a bit of work still needs to be done to make this production ready and shippable. I'm pretty pleased with how well it's working so far. Just need to, make sure we cover all of the filter cases and ensure we handle things like complex, like multi-condition filter values, date filters, things like that. So, yeah, that's my demo. Thanks. See you all at the end of the week.